Today's show is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with the advertisers that fit your audience. That's Podgo at podgo.co. Podgo, that's where the pods go.
Hello and welcome to the Infectious Groove Podcast, part of the Odd Pods Media Network. Recorded at the 33 1/3 Music Appreciation Center in Speakeasy, located just outside of Detroit, Michigan. The Infectious Groove Podcast is your source for jammy jams, music news, and the best in-depth music discussion. Thanks for joining us. Now here are your hosts.
That's right. Paul Stanley is excited
Oh boy.
for a new episode of the Infectious Group Podcast. And while I was searching for new drops for our show, a friend suggested, like, oh, come on, Paul Stanley has said so much ridiculous stuff. You got to be able to find something to use from Paul Stanley. So I went on YouTube and I literally typed the words Paul Stanley, and you know how it'll just correct, like it'll guess what you're in. It corrected to Paul Stanley 45 minutes of stage banner. So I hit enter, and sure as hell, there's a 45-minute video on YouTube of all of Paul Stanley. Oh, yeah. You know, oh yeah,
It wasn't just at one time.
no,
in the middle of one show, he just bantered for 45 minutes.
No, this was not a late 70s Elvis show. No. So, anyways, Paul Stanley and myself, Russ, and Michelle and Kyle welcome you to the Infectious Group Podcast. And this week we're talking about robots, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it's creepy.
We're going to get into artificial intelligence and music, and this is one of those reasons why we did away with the music news segment, because I feel like if we were doing the show in the old format, we would have very quickly discussed this in 5 minutes at the most, and then went on to something else, where for me this definitely warrants a full topic, I think. So if you are new to the show, make sure you go to infectiousgroupodcast.com and you can check out all things from the show there. Subscribe to the show, follow us on social media so you can get involved in our feedback, and also go to YouTube, where we just had our new video come out last week. I got the latest Third Man Records package, which for me was really sweet because it's a Jack White concert that I was at from here in the Masonic Temple in 2014.
Yeah, that record took quite a journey for you, didn't it?
It sure did. For the listeners not familiar, Third Man Records presses their albums here in Detroit in Cass Corridor, which is about 15 minutes away from where we record the show. The records got pressed in Cass Corridor and then shipped down to Nashville to the Third Man, actual headquarters there, and then sat there for over a month, and then moved very slowly through the mail system to get back up to me 10 minutes from where they were pressed in the first place. But they're here.
The mail.
Yeah, they're here, and we put that video up on the YouTube channel, and there was a lot of discussion about the sound quality on the show and all that stuff, so I put my opinions and all that, and then it's kind of a unique point of view for somebody to review the set that was actually at the show.
Yeah.
That was very fun for me. And then we have a whole bunch of new YouTube videos. Just so I know, I can't tell from this light. Are you glowing yet? No glowing yet? No, don't look. No.
Don't even look me in the face.
No. Not glowing. Do you plan to glow soon so we can get you on YouTube?
I have a feeling it's going to be hot at some point, and I'll be real glowy then.
Well, there we go. There we go. I keep offering, we can get spritzer.
Glowy
here.
or glossy?
Tomato.
Right. We do have some feedback to share from last week's topic. Real quick, Michelle, any idea what we talked about last week?
Hold on. Hold on. What are we talking about?
You can do this.
I really wish this was a joke.
We talked about how music and the pandemic had an effect on each other.
Well, you guys see how the pandemic had an effect on her, so.
Holy cow. We have some feedback from Matt.
5 minutes of dead air.
No, I'm going to edit all that out. So we have some feedback to share from that, so let's get to it.
Feedback, John.
Don't worry about that. Right. There's rock and roll be without feedback.
So obviously it's time to cover the topic Michelle was very passionate about and how music affected her. I mean, well, one could say you were probably speechless. you were so affected by the pandemic. So
That's got to be it.
so we got a really good piece of feedback here about the show in general, but also about that topic, saying, I'm really looking forward to hearing what you guys do when it's safe to start going to shows again. Another feather in your bow will no doubt be that will bring in more listeners for reviewing your shows. Last summer, I was meant to go to another show following Guns N' Roses and wrap it all up by seeing Aerosmith. However, I'll admit that I'm glad that got postponed, because by the time there was another GNR shows, I immediately regretted it. I also suffer from GNR syndrome. And I was kind of okay with taking a break from music, to be honest, or from live shows. To be honest, I think it's the same with this year too. I can't see them going ahead with shows here in the UK. The pandemic hasn't affected me finding time to play music. I've been fortunate enough that I can still travel into work, so I always throw something on in the mornings, and then I have my records at home, which has drastically increased thanks to the three of you, and you are a big part to blame. So that's
to
good.
blame.
Yeah, we're now blamed on two continents for people buying too many records. I've also mentioned this before, but the entertainment you guys have provided me with throughout the last year has been very, very awesome during the troubled times, and everyone greatly appreciates it. I will be forever thankful for you guys turning me on to great music, which I think is awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was sweet. So I put out on Twitter after I promoted the show, a couple days later, I retweeted it, and I just said, how has the pandemic affected your love of music? And our friend Will from the UK replied and said, it's increased it. It's that simple. You can ask God. He's my musical guru. It's the truth. He's plugged me into some great shit, plain and simple. So I believe that one of two things has happened. Will was taking drugs that day.
He's drunk and walking on the treadmill again.
Or Noel Gallagher took over his Twitter account.
Either one.
Yeah, one or the other. And then I just want to quickly get through. We had 3 really nice reviews come in of the overall show, not the topic from last week. Michelle, what did we talk about last week?
Pandemic.
Yes. That's. Let's see here. One of the reviews that we got, 5-star review, of course, says, everything you love about music, going to shows, talking with your friends about bands and songs that you love. This is the show. That is what the show is about. If you are amped up about music, give them a listen. Then we got another 5-star review that says, this is the best music show on the web, period. Russ, Michelle, and Kyle are absolute pros behind the mic. Well, Russ and Kyle. Michelle's here too.
I am just here.
And their friendship really comes through with their playful banter. Yeah, it's like every statement in this review covers like 2 of the 3 of us. They always have a fun topic to get you thinking and discussing, and they're great social media presence that interacts with everyone. So, really, they are.
Thank you.
Social media. Yeah. Yeah, I bet people are really excited about the amount you interact on social media, Michelle.
You're welcome.
I commented this week.
On what?
That I'm hilarious.
Oh, yeah, you sure did.
Oh, boy.
I remember that.
Right. So this next review, I think, does apply to all 3 of us. This is one of those podcasts you come across and you instantly think to yourself, there is so much time, effort, and sheer passion that goes into this. Infectious is the best way to describe it, which I think is a wonderful review. So I thought that was fun that we got that little bit of feedback. And then I'm always talking about how we have a line where people can leave us voicemails, and we have a voicemail.
Oh, boy.
And this is one of my favorites that's coming.
Hello, this is Seth from the Thanks for Coming podcast. I just got done listening to your podcast, and I feel the same way about music in the pandemic. I feel like I need some sort of like buffer period. Like, first let me reassimilate into normal society, and then let me go into concerts again. And it was really nice also to hear how much Michelle actually didn't like music, as I had predicted. And I just wanted to say, if you think Michelle hates music now. I
will pause this real quick. Seth, who does the Thanks for Coming podcast, is the person who on Twitter was like, why don't you guys do an episode about how Michelle actually doesn't like music? So I thought that was wonderful that you gave a call back on that. That's too funny. And then it gets better from here.
If you think Michelle hates music now, just wait till the baby comes. You're going to have to ask Mr. Mr. Mumford for, what is it called? Lullabies. Mumford Plays Lullabies, the baby music. So that'll definitely be one of Kyle's next vinyl he picks up, I'm sure. All right, you guys, love the show. Thanks again for doing what you do. Bye.
And we've been very vocal about it.
awesome.
I love the support we get in the podcast community, and Seth's been awesome. And he's given us like a lot of, the wonderful suggestion of Michelle not actually liking music, because I've known her for so long and I didn't even realize that. And it's like you see it in print and you're like, oh, that's true, you know?
I'm really good at faking it until I make it.
Being good at faking it's debatable on the feedback that we get.
You know what else still weirds me out is that like people like listen all the time so they know who we are.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm just
I
like,
keep telling you that's a real thing. I know that you're convinced that no one listens to us and I'm just making up all this stuff.
like, wait, how does he know that I'm pregnant? How does he know it's Kyle's baby?
Because we told everyone.
Yeah.
We told everyone, and by everyone I mean the people that listen to us
like one time.
every week. Yes, I know. But I love the fact that he worked in just wait till the baby gets here. Which, by the way, for anyone else listening, that is Michelle's favorite thing, when someone tells her just wait till the baby gets here.
It sure is.
So we enjoy the voicemails a great deal, and I cannot stress this enough. If you're listening to the show, especially with this week's topic, if you have some thoughts or really anything in general on the show, if you just have life advice for Michelle, because she really likes being told what to do, make sure that you call 313-364-9899 and leave us a voicemail. And I totally forgot to mention this at the top, but the feedback portion this week is brought to you by Pew Pew Lasercraft, once again, who I've put a couple of pictures on social media of their work. They do some really, really, really cool music related items, and they set up a partnership with us. So if you look for their Etsy store, Pew Pew Lasercraft, and use the code GROOVE, you get a discount on everything in the store. And didn't you went to look at the store, right, Michelle?
Oh my God, there's so many things there. I want to know all of them.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, like, for me, I instantly wanted to look at all the music stuff, but, like, just in general, there's a ton of
There's
stuff.
so many things.
Yeah, so, and you don't have to use the Groove code on just music stuff.
No, and she makes, like, cute earrings and,
Yep.
like, just so many things.
Yeah, it's really, really cool
It's
stuff.
amazing.
So make sure to do that. Etsy store, Pew Pew Lasercraft, code GROOVE for a discount on everything in the store. And then make sure that as we get it further into this episode, make sure that you use our voicemail and share your thoughts with us, because I love listening to the voicemails, and especially...
Do they
like
come to
you
your
said,
phone?
No, it just comes to our Google account. See, this is one of those things where, like, if you had anything to do with actually running the show, you would know. Like, we just got complimented on how well everything
So
is
you're
done.
saying I can go in and listen to them ahead of time?
You could, yes. I mean, there's no point because you're going to hear them on Saturday, but you could if you wanted to. Or are you like going to talking about like deleting ones where people?
She's gonna go ahead and delete them all. No one's calling the show.
It's weird.
Yeah.
We should just get rid of this.
Yeah. Did you like the character Seth I made up where I called in? I paid a guy $10 to sound like that. So
This is a really elaborate, long game you're playing here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on to our next segment. Our jammies. So I already mentioned this as part of our YouTube video for the week, but I re-listened to that entire Jack White show again, so that was huge for me, and it's just fire. Like the show as it was happening, we were just like blown away by it. It was really, really, really good show. Let's put it this way. Most headlining acts will play about 90 minutes, maybe an hour and 45 at the most. This show is over 4 LPs and it's 38 songs long. Yeah, it was just mind-numbing how good the show was. A ton of Stripe stuff, ton of solo stuff from both of his records because he hadn't put out his god-awful third album yet. So we were saved from not hearing. I can also play with my son's toys, but I just don't record it and put it on an album and call it my third album.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Do you have 2 first albums? Like a first album and a second
Yeah.
one? No.
Yeah. I'll give you CDs. I'll make you a mixtape of the first 2.
Can I return them?
You would. And then this is so random, but the other day I got Broken Wing by Martina McBride stuck in my head, and then went on a total Martina McBride rabbit hole. Independence Day, whatever you say, like everything, like that woman can sing. And like in the 90s, it was one of those things where like Shania Twain was huge and got a bunch of recognition. And I don't mean Martina McBride was like an underground artist or anything, but like that woman can sing. And she had a lot of like women's empowerment songs well before that became a thing all of a sudden society cared about in the last several years. Like just listening back to stuff like Independence Day this week, I was like, man, that was a big hit in the 90s. And I think everybody was singing along with it without really listening to the lyrics, you know? It's like people hear Jimmy, but they don't hear Jimmy. You know, like I feel like people were singing along to that song and not even realizing that it was talking about a woman in an abusive relationship. Like
I think there's a lot of songs like that.
Yeah, that people don't really pitch it. You said that? Like have I turned you? Had you listened to a song and I didn't know it was about an abusive relationship or something? You totally said that like I did something wrong.
Well, you did, but we'll talk about that later.
Fantastic. When we get into how much you don't like music.
Music?
This is probably your Jamie Jams, but I did listen to half of the Parker Millsap album yesterday.
Yeah.
I was picking up my son, so when I got him in the car, I went ahead and talked to my kid instead of listening to
You
the
didn't
album.
enlighten him?
No, I did not. But I liked what I heard. So, and also, not to cause a tense moment here, but I have a judgment on Damn It. And yeah, I side with Kyle. The problem is that there's no chorus. There's no chorus.
Yeah,
There is.
No, there is not. And
He just keeps going and going and going, and that never reaches any.
Yeah, there's no.
Stop talking.
Yeah.
The song is life-changing for me. You guys are ruining it.
Life changing.
I don't know what you guys are doing after the show, but boy, do I have a lot better music to play for you over there. So anyways, those were, two of them were my Jammy Jams, the Parker Millsap album, the jury's still out on. I didn't dislike it at all, but that one particular song, I was like, I got to judge this. And about 3/4 of the way through, I was like, this is looking real good for Kyle. So it's not bad. It's just not great.
I'm going to go. You guys can finish the show.
Oh, that's fine.
I told her too. Is the second time I listened to it, the second time around, I liked it better than the first time.
No, you're right.
I got her on the soundboard, so we're good. I can just piece together a bunch of stuff. So, but yeah, I don't dislike it. It just doesn't go anywhere.
Yes.
Anyways, having said that, Kyle, what have you been listening to?
So YouTube struck again, and
You don't have a fever, dude.
No, I do not have the fever. Though I did find out that he just put out a whole nother. It's not even an album, but there's 10 new songs that aren't on that or the other album that I don't even know.
Speaking of which, I know people have a lot of opinions on this, and we're not a political podcast or a health podcast or anything. But when you go for your COVID vaccine, you should see if they have one for Bieber fever.
I don't know if I want to be cured.
See, that's why I said this is not a political. I don't want to get into that. You want the 5G, but you don't want the Bieber fever cured. Speaking of which, the other day I saw another show was like, because everybody posts when they got their shot, and somebody was like, "Hey, look, I got 5G." They got their thing. I thought it was great. Anyways, so YouTube struck again.
There is I would say a group. It's two guys. They're called Always Never, and it's the closest that I've ever gotten to being able to hear someone sound so similar to how The Weeknd sounded when he first came out, like 10 years ago.
Because you don't dislike his later stuff, but you liked his original stuff.
Yes, just because of how dark and creepy and weird it was until he became commercial, and he kind of changed directions, which is fine.
Would you say he's sold out?
No.
Oh boy, you know who sold out is Maroon 5. Go on, Kyle.
That is accurate. Everyone on the agree. No, you're right. I agreed with you on that one.
I literally have people come over to our house for music night, and if Maroon 5 comes up, they're like, "How does Kyle not think that movie?" I'm like, "I don't know." It's not.
He went home after that episode and researched it for 3 hours and was like, "Did you know they wrote this song? Did you know that they're still a band? Did you know it's all that?" I was like, "Shut up! It's over."
That is accurate.
Michelle's like, "I have to hurry up and forget we even talked about this."
He still brings it up every time Maroon 5. They're not a song.
Why are you going to take the garbage out? Are you going to admit Maroon 5 didn't sell out?
It is a point of contention in our household.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yes.
Damn it, Maroon 5.
Yeah. So, anyways, sorry.
They during when the pandemic was raging, they put out, obviously no one was touring and whatnot. They put out a bunch of visuals for an album they'd been working on. It's all like, it's just visuals for that album, and then they all go in like a sequence. So it's like a little movie that you're watching.
Yeah, like along the lines of the Lumineers?
Yeah. But it's all one video. The Lumineers put them out all individually, like week after week or whatever. But it's called See You Soon, the live experience. And it has at the beginning, it talks about how, like, you know, they're not able to see anybody and they can't wait till things get back to normal. And this whole thing happens. Well, I started digging in further, and they have an album that came out in 2020, which I think has some of the songs that are in that live experience thing. But it's called Shadows in My Home. And goddamn, does it sound like The Weeknd.
Nice.
And like the Weeknd that I love.
The Weeknd that you like.
And I was playing some for Michelle, and I was like, listen to this. She was like, that sounds just like it.
Yeah.
And I was
No,
like,
what I was like is,
that's probably more
shoe
accurate.
Shopping. We just when I was editing last week's episode, that thing you were which I didn't even know was a service I provided, but was the whole like you should just listen to this one song.
it's a service you provide.
Because I was thinking about all the times that like I've had you be like, I listened to that whole album, and I was like, oh, what'd you think? You were like, I didn't like it. And I was like, well, why didn't you listen to the one song? You know? So,
I do not provide that service. I make her listen to everything.
Kyle's full service. He likes to play the
What
full
he likes
album.
to do is when I'm driving, he disconnects my phone and connects his phone, and then I'm just trapped in my own car listening. That's what happened with this Weeknd thing.
It's not The Weeknd. It's Always Never.
He went back and forth, and he was like, listen how this song sounds like this song, and then listen to this song, and I was like, oh my God, get me home.
Oh, yes, that's accurate. But beyond that, because of what has recently happened, I found myself listening to a bunch of DMX as well. Yes.
Yeah. For me, the only thing about that it's an odd way to say this, but Tom Petty's passing kind of prepared me for this because of the way, like when Tom Petty went in the hospital, like almost everybody was like, oh, he'll recover or whatever. And then when he passed, there was a lot of people that were like, yeah, when it gets to that point, it's, you know, and so in the way the DMX story was reported, like his lawyer or his manager or somebody came out and was like, oh no, it's good. You know, he'll probably be able to recover. And I was like, not from what I read. So I was kind of prepared. You know, for it, but it's sad. You know, guy had a rocky life for sure, but you know, legend. And I'm sure, like anybody, we're probably going to learn more about him now that we didn't know. Yeah, you know, there's probably more good there.
I was telling her is I just watched. There's a podcast, but it's like a video podcast. You can watch all the episodes. It's called Drink Champs, and it's like on Revolt TV or whatever. But I was watching the episode recently. It was like a couple weeks old he was on there and talking about like telling these crazy stories about how he'd be all like fucked up and high and doing all this crazy shit. Yeah. And like it was hilarious to like hear him talking about this shit so candidly. Like, a month later, this shit happens. Yeah, and I was just like, man.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yes.
So just those two, though, and I mean, obviously DMX. I would assume a lot.
Oh yeah, there's also
tomorrow's DMX. Tomorrow's playlist rather is going to be like 40 DMX songs,
minimum.
At a minimum. So I mean, you know, Michelle, there's no way to overstate this. Probably the greatest thing that happens to every listener's life every week is they get to hear your jammy jams. So, what audio drama have you been listening to this week?
I wish it was an audio drama. Have you ever?
I bet you do. I bet you do wish it was an audio drama and not actual music.
They sometimes play music in the background. Have you ever had a song follow you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is a forced jammy jam of the week.
Well, yeah. Tell me what you mean, because I think I know what you mean.
What do you mean?
Where you hear the same song in a lot of different places.
Yeah, but you haven't heard it in like 6 months.
Yep.
So, Hold On by Wilson Phillips has been following me for a week.
Okay, but that's a jam, though.
Okay, but it wasn't. I didn't mean to make it my jammy jam. It's just been following me. Like I get in the car and turn it on the radio, and like it hasn't been playing on the radio forever.
But when you hear it, do you not sing along?
I do, and I let it play every time. But it was on at the grocery store. It was on in my car. Every time I turned on my car for like 3 days, it would be on at least one station. Like, and then I was like, "Did somebody die?"
Quick follow-up: is it possible Kyle was in the back seat and connected his phone?
He was in the house.
And then played Hold On by Wilson.
And it was like in a commercial or something that I saw, or when I was like, "Where is this coming from?" And so now it's been stuck in my head all week.
Is getting played a ton because it's a jam.
I thought you were going to be like, because one of them died.
Yeah.
You're just an asshole.
Yeah, you didn't hear? But, and that will always, did you know that, and I just found this out recently, through, I don't even know how, I read it somewhere. Did you know that Release Me was charted higher and longer than Hold On?
No.
Yeah. And like, and You're in Love was also a single off that record, which was a great song too. But all anybody remembers from Wilson Phillips that I'm aware of is Hold On.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's weird that Release Me like charted for higher and longer than Hold On, but Hold On's the one everyone remembers.
It is.
It could even be because of Bridesmaids that it was like brought back into consciousness.
So
Which, by
good.
the way, I sincerely hope that later on you're flipping channels and Bridesmaids is on.
And it's just the end.
I love how amped up they get, the three of them.
Yeah, I
when
know.
they're like rocking out when Wilson Phillips is singing.
That's what I think in my head every time I hear the song.
Yeah,
So.
for sure. But that chorus is catchy as all
I
get
know.
out.
And then it gets stuck in my head, and like all I needed to hear was once, but it's been like an entire week of every single day it shows up in my life.
I remember when I very first heard Wilson Phillips, I was like, yeah, I know it, just Wilson Phillips. I didn't know anything about the names or anything. And I was like, man, those girls can harmonize. Like, holy crap. And then, well, yeah, they're the kids of the Beach Boys and the Mamas and the Papas. So, yeah.
Weird how that happens.
It would be harder for them not to harmonize. They probably, when they're talking to each other, accidentally harmonize in conversation.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Like
So,
their jinx are harmonized.
Yeah. So do you have any on purpose
Yes.
jammy jams?
So I fell back into fun. Like, not that
what
I
a
fell
great-
out,
yeah,
but like
yeah,
I
yeah.
just like kind of remembered that they existed again. And then
All of the fun, or Aim and Ignite, or some
all of the fun. But specifically, my jam, which I forgot about, was Out on the Town, which is like the bonus track.
What a jam.
And so that has been...
Which, by the way, can we just, for the listeners, for those familiar with the album Some Nights, can we get a petition going to get It Gets Better taken off of that album?
Oh my God, duh!
And then move Out on the Town from being a bonus track to a full...
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Who do we talk to? Nate? Where's Nate?
Yeah, yeah. Well, Jack is from Michigan,
Yeah.
so I think that makes him best friends with us.
So he's probably local, so
Yeah.
we don't have to fly anywhere. So
Yeah,
we
for
could probably
sure.
just go find him.
So
Okay,
yeah.
so they should re-release it. So I don't even know like what it might
But
have been.
Out on the Town, what a jam!
It's such a jam.
Carry On,
Oh, yeah.
Stars. What
I know.
a jam!
I know that's your specific jam.
Yeah.
I started with Aim and Ignite again, and I was like, and then it led into that, and then
All
I like
the
how
Pretty Girls, holy cow!
so good.
Yeah.
I like how and this is sarcastic. I like how Spotify is like, oh, you listen to this record all the way through, you must love it, and so it puts now anything from fun in every single playlist. It's like, oh, you're listening to old school R&B. Well, here's a fun song like in the middle of it, and it's like, no, I wanted to listen to that on purpose. Now I want to listen to R&B.
You get done with All My Life. You get to the end of it, and it's like Some Nights I Stay. You're like, not swing and a miss, Spotify.
So then they also has been forced into my life more, but I did it on purpose to begin with, and
Yeah.
it's just been such a jam. And Out on the Town,
I
I've been
remember when I
listening
told
to
you
on repeat.
because we were like mega into Some Nights, and then
Oh my God, it was such a good-
I went to the record store. I wouldn't expect you guys to know, but the Dearborn Music is it's way out of the way. It's like it's like 10 minutes from here. So I mean, it's
On a good day.
Yeah, it's without traffic, without Dearborn traffic. And I was in there talking about how much I love Some Nights, and the guy was like, "I'm not trying to be that guy, but you have got to hear the album before it. Like, if you love that, you've got to." And he was like, "I can't give you your money back guarantee on this because we don't do returns, like on open music, but like you're gonna love this." And so I just blind bought it and brought it home, and every song I was like, "What?" Like,
I would almost say that it's better than Some Nights because of It Gets Better.
Why all of a sudden did Some Nights just explode then?
because of the Microsoft commercial.
Oh, yeah,
We Are Young
okay.
was in the Microsoft commercial.
Yeah. Okay.
That, and I'm convinced that the song Some Nights is, so when songs come out, and I think like like Blinding Lights by The Weeknd.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like pretty much a ripoff of Young Turks.
Yes.
But I don't think he meant to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's possible in the creative space to create something without on purpose ripping something off.
Yeah.
Right? Some Nights, I don't care what anybody says, that song is a direct ripoff of Cecilia by Simon
for
and
sure.
Garfunkel.
Yep.
But I don't think they sat down and were like, let's just rip off Cecilia, and like, but I think because Cecilia and Simon and Garfunkel are so popular that song just like automatically blew them into the stratosphere after the Microsoft deal. But yeah,
Makes sense.
Both great records to
Yes.
to listen to.
So good.
Does this conclude your Jammy Jams
This
for the week?
does conclude Michelle's Jammy Jams.
Well, that's fantastic. now we can move on.
No audiobooks or anything.
I know, that's crazy.
That's weird.
No commercial jingles.
No TikTok songs.
Michelle, what have you been listening to this week? 888 Empire. Sweet. You're like, Michelle, what have you been listening to this week? Oh, okay. So Cars for Kids. You heard this commercial? It's awesome. All right, so now that everybody's had their life improved by hearing Michelle's Jammy Jams, and it was actual music this week.
Yeah, that's true.
We're going to get into our main topic, which is what is and is not actual music, because we're going to talk about robots creating music. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence doing the work of artists. We'll be back in just a second.
Hey, you there. We've got a question for you. Are you tired of clickbait stories and the loudest voices driving discussions in culture and entertainment?
If so, I'm Dylan.
I'm Kendall.
And I'm Corey. And we host the podcast From the Middle. We're middle-class guys living in the middle of America, in the middle chapters of our lives with points of view somewhere in the middle. We take a more reasonable and centrist approach in our discussions covering genres like comedy, culture, entertainment, and interviews, with really interesting folks like business owners, comic creators, doctors, news anchors, New York Times best-selling illustrators, professional stand-up comics, and more. We really value a relaxed and conversational podcast, one that we hope is so fun and laid back, you'll forget you're not actually hanging out with us.
So search at From the Mid Pod, just like it sounds, or check us out everywhere you can find podcasts.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Zach.
It's Josh. Zach, do you enjoy video games, drinking, and attempting to solve the world's problems through ridiculous schemes?
Yeah.
Do you think others would enjoy that?
I mean, I really hope so.
So do I. So I think you all should come spend some time with us, the Midwest Meltdown. This show was created by these two fine gentlemen here, myself and Zach, when we spent the last 14 years telling each other funny stories, talking about video games, and literally anything else that comes to mind. We wanted to turn our passion for gaming into something that we could share with everyone. So again, follow us, the Midwest Meltdown, anywhere you can find your podcasts. That's Spotify, Apple Music, Podbean, Google Pods. Check us out. We'd be happy to have you.
Hi, I'm Shannon.
I'm Jamie.
We're Married with Television, marriedwithtv.com. We are a couple of Hollywood normies on the outskirts of the film and TV industry, and we talk about our favorite TV shows, music, and movies, and sometimes they talk back to us.
Sometimes they do.
Our podcast is Married with Television, one word, on Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, and SoundCloud.
Possibly Amazon soon. And we are a proud member of the Odd Pods Media Network.
Married with TV.
marriedwithtv.com.
We are back, and God help us, Michelle is in rare form today. So this is either going to go
Rare good or rare bad.
very good or very bad, one or the other. For the main topic this week, we are going to be talking about robots and music. Now, real quick, before I hand it off to Kyle to kind of give us a briefing on this, this is one of the reasons, I mentioned this earlier in the show, why I thought it was cool if we stopped doing the music news segment.
Yes.
Because instead of us just being like, oh, robots are making music, I think that might suck, and move on, like, we get to discuss this for a while. And I really think I know I'm always going on about, leave us a voicemail and leave us interaction. But, like, if you even remotely like music, you have to have an opinion on this topic.
Yes.
So I would really like it if you are hearing the sound of my voice right now and unfortunate enough to continue to hear the sound of Michelle's voice. I didn't even finish the sentence. And she jumped in. If you are unfortunate enough to hear the sound of Michelle's voice, then I really want you to interact with us on this.
Unfortunate or fortunate?
Right. If you could just keep talking over, that'd be great.
Can do.
I will pull your goddamn tongue out with a roots.
Okay, I just want to be clear. That's Elvis talking, not me. That's
I heard Russ Robinson.
Elvis Presley said
right
to
in
you
my tongue
just now. I just felt the spirit of the king move me, and that's how he feels about you. You keep interrupting. So anyways, we are going to pass this over to Kyle because we're going to discuss this further, but the one story that you brought to our attention is like the only way I can have a positive spin on this. So let us know what is going on with this AI and music situation.
So most of anybody knows what we're actually talking about before you hear what we're talking about is there's songs floating around on YouTube or on the internet in general where there's a Jay-Z, a really old Jay-Z song. There's an Eminem one that recently surfaced where it sounds like it's Eminem,
and it's My Name Is updated with...
It's the beat to My Name Is. It sounds like it's Eminem, and it's current, meaning that he's talking about current events and things that are going on now.
Yeah.
But it's a computer.
Yeah, it's Eminem's voice saying things Eminem has never said.
Yes, and how they do this is it's just literally an algorithm that goes and scrubs for vocals and hooks and stuff like that, and then the computer constructs them into a manner of where it sounds like a person is talking or rapping or singing or
and
whatever.
It's convincing as all get out.
And it's creepy as shit.
And like all things, this stuff advances so fast. So if you just go to YouTube and you type in Jay-Z, We Didn't Start the Fire, you'll hear like what we're talking about.
Yes.
With no beat or any production behind it, it still sounds pretty good.
And that was the beginning stages of what was going on.
That was
with
like
this.
the first time somebody was like, I wonder if a computer could do this.
Yes, and you know ahead of time it's not Jay-Z, but if you just listen to it, it sounds like Jay-Z.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yes.
And for anybody listening to this, it's like, well, don't they know about deepfakes? Yes, we know about deepfakes, but like this is like a new level for audio from video deepfakes. And then the Eminem one is a step further from the Jay-Z, because I feel like you could play that for someone and they would just think Eminem recut.
Yeah, the Jay-Z thing just seems unpolished, because it is. The Eminem song is an actual new updated version of My Name Is, and it's creepy. How accurate it is.
My next question in this discussion is going to be like, is this technology good or bad? Right now, until you brought us the story you're going to talk about next,
yes,
my answer 10 times out of 10 would be like, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, and you'll never convince me that it's not bad.
Yeah.
And then you sent us this new story, and I was like, crap, that's like the only time I think it could ever be used for good.
So there is a company who is using software to do what we're talking about, but it's to shine a light on mental health, by way of they're working on all of the artists that were part of the 27 Club, and they're not glorified like most people would glorify them for being part of the 27 Club.
Which that's we haven't done an episode on the 27 Club, I don't think. No. But I'll tell you what, that is such a thing that people are like, oh, the 27 Club, like, oh, it's so mystical. No, it's not.
What?
It's a bunch of people who made a lot of mistakes and were stricken with either the illness of addiction or mental illness. It's not, this is not something to be glorified by any means. And so I like that what you said, that, and I forget the company's name behind this, but they are making sure to point that out. Like, this is not like, oh, it's awesome that these people passed then. It's like, oh, here's an approximation of what we could have got from Kurt or Amy had they not passed then.
Yes, it's called Over the Bridge is the company.
And I thought they said they weren't selling this either. They were doing
it's free. Yeah, it's for free.
They were just doing it.
And I kind of struggled with, I think I could probably play it in the show clips, but I didn't want to because I didn't want us to get a copyright strike, and I don't want to cause them any problems. So, but you can go on YouTube and type it. What is it called?
It's called Over the Bridge.
No, but
the album is called Lost Tapes of the 27 Club.
Okay, and I know you can go on Spotify or YouTube and just play the stuff for free. So
and put it on our playlist.
You can put all four of them on there.
We'll post the article too that I'm getting this info from on our Facebook page, and it has the songs in that article too, so you can just go and listen to it there too. But what they're doing is they are trying to shed light on the absence of mental health in the music industry by putting this out, and it shines a light on kind of what we could have looked forward to if these people had not passed away at such a young age, which I think is great.
I think it's lit. Like, I cannot stress enough how much if we would have had this conversation a week ago,
we did have this conversation a week ago.
Not on air.
No, I know, but
imagine for a second that we're doing a show right now where people
are still trying to convince me that other people listen to this.
Yeah. On this show, we haven't had this conversation. And if we had a week ago, I would have been like, nope. There's no way you can convince me that's good technology. There's no way anybody could use it for good ever. And then this happened. And I was like, that is okay, fine. That's the one way you can use it. And I'll tell you, we try and keep this show light, without naming names. I know, like, Michelle and I know personally at least one musician in our life who had a very terrible struggle with mental illness and passed away. And we know currently of a couple of musicians in different acts who struggle with addiction and struggle with mental illness. And one of the musicians that I talk to regularly reminded me and told me, this was about a year ago, we had this conversation. He said, you got to remember, there's no healthcare system in music.
Yep.
These guys don't have, there isn't just we'll put in for FMLA or, I'll just
Sony doesn't have a healthcare plan?
I'll put in to see not when it trickles down to the artists,
I know.
And these people, if you listen to the last album and a half from Alice in Chains, how Lane Staley's life's going to end because he's telling you on the record. Somebody doesn't write down in a hole from a happy place. Yep. And there's no one looking, because it's in the best interest of a lot of the bean counters to keep our artists in a tortured state. Yeah. Right. So it's really upsetting when you think about it. Like I said, we try and keep the show light and fun, but when you're talking about this, it's like these people that give us so much, there's no one looking out for them.
9 times out of 10, mental health is ignored when it comes to the music industry. And then when it's not ignored, it's just romanticized. Mm-hmm. When you hear about someone having a drug problem, of course they're famous. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't they have a drug problem? Someone's depressed? Yeah, why wouldn't they be? Why would they be depressed? They're famous,
right?
That kind of stuff, and that is not a thing, man. These people are people.
So I want to circle back to that because I don't want to make the whole episode about just that thing. Although I think that thing it's great, the what they're doing it over the bridge, and we'll bring that up throughout. But overall, what do you think of the technology? Like, and Michelle, I really seriously want your opinion on this. Like, what do you think of so this just off the top of my head, the only person that I can think of that instantly comes into my head is Elliott Smith. You're a big Elliott Smith fan. He passed away earlier, early in life. So if all of a sudden there was a new Elliott Smith record that was artificial intelligence approximation of what he was going to do, if I just was like, oh look, it's happening, and showed you a story, what would your instant reply be?
No,
and why?
First of all, to me, it's like wrong sounding Muppets. I hear what you guys are saying, like it's close, but it's like close enough to where I think it's like a parody.
But what you have to understand is the Jay-Z one was less than a year ago. And now these ones are almost identical. They could be passed off as real songs. So this technology is going to move so fast that by this time next year, you will never know the difference. And I totally get what you're saying, the reference with the wrong sounding Muppets. Like, I get that. But the technology is going to move so fast that you're not going to know the difference.
Do you think that if I approached you with that Eminem song and said, hey, look, Eminem is just being a jackass and he re-recorded this song, listen to it?
I would just think it's like an unpolished thing that he did in his see,
that's what I'm saying. It's convincing enough that it sounds like him.
I would think that it was maybe an Eminem song, but not like one that you would hear on the radio. Like it was just him like messing around somewhere and did something.
But you would think that it was Eminem, though. You wouldn't go like,
I wouldn't think that Kyle was lying to me.
Kyle, I don't know. I got to talk to you about some things. I get a lot of texts from Kyle that are like, all right, here's what I told her.
Let's keep the gag running.
Let's keep the gag running.
And then that person gave us all this music. I don't need someone else to come in and fill their shoes. Like, that's it. They're done. Like, it's very sad. And like, I understand the 27 Club thing, the record, and how they're going to help people. But like, I don't need more music from Elliott Smith. Right. Well, see, and I'll swing to you. I'm not glossing over you, but I feel like we're going to be close to on the same page on this. So for me, and we may be on an island about this, but for me, I am so connected to the artists.
Yes.
And, and like what, okay, so you take something like The Wall, brought it back to Pink Floyd. That record occurs. Pink Floyd buzzing. The Wall exists because of what Roger Waters went through in his personal life and because of what Syd Barrett went through. Now, Pink Floyd as a whole has a whole lot of like anti-war lyrics and whatnot. But again, that all comes back to Roger Waters' father having passed away in World War II, right? But if you took and dumped in all this information into one of these computers, it's going to kick out a Pink Floyd song that's going to sound approximately like Pink Floyd and most likely be like, hey, war is bad, or whatever. But like, there's zero connection to that for me because it has nothing to do with Roger Waters personally and what he went through.
You're being lied to.
Which is what, it's funny, but that's why David Gilmour hated The Wall. Like, he literally was like, I don't want to sing more songs about your dad dying, and it was like, okay, well, everyone else wants to hear him, Dave. Right. Anyway, so what, like, let's, say, okay, DMX. Let's say next year, all of a sudden, there's an AI DMX record. Where are you going with it?
I kind of put this in the same category as when they started doing all the holograms for concerts. Just the audio version of this stuff is, I hate to use this word because I hate this word, but it's just fucking cringy. Like you said,
you hate to use the word fucking?
No.
I
hate the word cringy.
I got a lot of outtakes.
I am typically very connected to what I'm listening to and the person who's putting the music out.
Oh, yeah.
So there's an automatically a disconnect there.
But I just wonder if, and I'm not making a funny connection to like the Hold On thing, but I just wonder if like for the people who music is just, when Hold On plays in the supermarket, you know what I mean? I wonder if they'll just be like, oh yeah, whatever, it's a new. And then we start getting to the point where so if a robot can just make this song, then why are we paying a human to do it? Right.
It's like,
which is part of my worry.
Yeah.
So I have a ton of worry about this. Now, my worry with this goes all the way back to before computers were even part of the problem, which is when Michael Jackson passed away, Sony couldn't get a Michael Jackson album out fast enough. Like this label who couldn't give a remote crap about the guy for the last 15 years of his life, all of a sudden became the world's biggest Michael Jackson fans when it was time to cash the register. And they put out an album in 2010 called Michael that I don't want to mistake this. I think up to 4 songs are not even Michael Jackson. It's just a impersonator. And the rest of it is all vocals. And the reason why they did it was that because Michael didn't leave anywhere near as much as like Prince or a lot of other artists leave behind, because he was such a perfectionist that when he went in the studio to work on stuff, he would just finish it and then put it out. So there wasn't like a whole lot of him just like singing on stuff and not putting it out, So Sony, in order to elongate as much as they could, they were going to try and get away with this. And you're never going to believe this, but Michael Jackson has a worldwide fan base of very passionate people who know when it's him singing or not and instantly call him out. There's a class action lawsuit and everything that's still going on where Michael Jackson fans are trying to get their money back from giving Sony money for this Michael Jackson album that was marketed as Michael Jackson, and at least 4 songs was not at all. And it's a bummer for me because there's a beautiful ballad that ends that album called Much Too Soon, but I refuse to buy it. So I just, it's like the one Michael Jackson album I'll never own. But I love that one song, Much Too Soon.
Well, did you see that's how they did the Kurt Cobain one?
Yeah, they had a impersonator.
Yeah, and he
or tribute artist.
And he like just kind of fell into it, and like he loves doing the project, and took him
and
forever.
I want to be clear.
Like, I feel like that's different.
I want to be clear.
They were trying to hide this.
All I'm talking about with technology.
I'm not talking about the Michael thing.
Totally, this thing that Over the Bridge is doing is so much different than what labels do. But my concern is, no matter how the road to hell is paved with good intentions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no matter how good let me put it this way. I'm certain that the people involved in this project have absolutely the best of intentions. Do you know how many Zoom meetings have happened in Hollywood over this past week? For how much payroll got burned of people being like, all right, look up contracts. How many different dead people can we bring back and do an album?
I think someone said, with great power comes great responsibility.
I believe the Spider-Mans.
I think Mr. Spider-Man said that.
Mr. Spider-Man.
But like, I would buy an album if it was like known that it's not Nirvana and it's just it's a tribute artist who like in this AI helped the music and the lyrics are Nirvana-esque, and I would support that more than I would support being like, this is Nirvana if they hadn't died and that was it.
Right.
Or if Kurt hadn't died.
But what I'm saying is that's not where we're going.
I know, but I'm saying there's a line for me.
If Sony tried to pull this 10 years ago with an impersonator, I'm telling you.
No, I know.
Within 5 years, we're going to have a Lost Hendrix record. Oh, my Lord. No one knew this. And it's, you know what I mean? And that's what we're going to...
So can their estates sue?
Well, yeah, but there's so much money changing hands. A lot of people are probably going to be like, yeah, so just add another 0 and we're cool with it,
And we'll totally say it was Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah. I mean, and so that for me, it's like, man, now we're getting to a point where I got to question the authenticity of like whatever I might listen to.
Yeah, see, and I'm torn because I mean, the advancement in technology is fantastic and it's amazing. Mm-hmm. It also crosses like a weird threshold with like art. Like, what is art, right? Because technically, this algorithm and the advancement in technology could be considered art.
Oh, no, for sure.
It's art in a different way. So then you're taking one kind of art to then replicate another kind of art to then make something weird.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's
I'm just going to sound like I'm saying it derogatory, but in the strangest of ways, like it's still art Like, somebody is creating something.
An iPod is art. An iPhone is art.
Right.
An algorithm is art because someone is creating that from nothing and turning it into something tangible that is awesome.
Right. No,
in
I
a
agree.
sense.
So I just had a thought. So this means like everybody's replaceable. So like you want to leave and you want to break up the band and the record label's like no, and everyone else wants to stay. Like they just create another you.
So we're gonna get to a point of all of the downsides, and then holy cow! Like if I was gonna sign a record contract, like last Monday, if I found out that I was gonna get signed by Universal or whatever, and I hadn't signed it yet, like and this story broke, by next Monday I would make sure that there's no verbiage in that contract that says when I die you can make whatever albums you want, because I guarantee everything's getting rewritten. You know, I'm telling you, you think I'm kidding?
No.
You know how many Zoom meetings happened last week between record executives that are like dig through all the paperwork and find out how let's get an Elvis album out, let's get a Frank album out. You know what I mean? Like these legacy acts are Zeppelin.
Yeah.
You know, they're just, look, we have John Bonham drumming again because we put all of this stuff in and here's how John Bonham would drum on this, we think. You know, so one point I want to touch on is this any different for you guys than when they bring back actors? And the only two that I can think of off the top, well, there's three. I just thought of literally just one more. The two I can think of are from Star Wars, where they brought back Governor Tarkin and Princess Leia. And with those, they were pivotal to the plot. And those actors only said like one or two words. So you weren't, for me, an actor's performance is as personal as singing lyrics, you know, like the emotion and everything. And those two examples, it was done where literally, like Princess Leia says one word in Rogue One, you know, like she literally just says one word to set up the next movie. So I'm okay with those, but like, what if all of a sudden it's just like, hey, everybody, Vincent Price is in this new horror movie.
I was going to reference Paul Walker in...
that's the one that popped into my head.
And like...
But see, that's almost like the 27 thing where like that movie was almost shot.
Yeah.
It was like The Crow, where Brandon Lee passed away and they kind of finished it the way they could. Fantastic film. You really should look into sometime. And if you know someone who's into music, because I know you don't like it all that much.
Who likes music?
Wonderful soundtrack.
Yeah, The Crow's a fantastic soundtrack.
But everyone but you likes music.
I think I talk about it every week.
But the Paul Walker thing, like, that movie was almost finished.
But the entire time I was watching that, I was like, that's not Paul Walker. That's not Paul Walker. That doesn't look like Paul Walker. That's not Paul Walker.
I did that when I saw The Crow in the theater. Anytime there was like darkness and he runs or something, I was like, that's probably not him.
So it's like, I didn't like them deep faking his face into the movie is like, it's just weird. I don't. Yeah.
But they're not creating another Fast and Furious with Paul Walker as.
But, so here's the examples we have right now are limited.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We're talking a small amount of stuff. What if all the like next fall they're like, this Halloween experience Vincent Price in, you know, and then Vincent Price is just starring in a movie 40 years after he died.
Yeah.
What do you like? Are you going to see that or no? Oh boy, are you thinking of Bill Hader?
Lord knows what she's thinking of.
I was thinking somebody.
What the hell's going on here? Good golly, Miss Molly.
I was thinking.
Yeah, what he said.
Short and sweet. I was thinking of the Edgar suit. Like if somebody was wearing it.
Yep, that's exactly it. Men in Black. That's totally the example that I was using.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry, that's where my brain went.
How would you feel if next fall Vincent Price was starring in a brand new horror movie and he's in the whole movie? They digitized him from the ground up and people were like, we think this is how Vincent Price would act in this movie because this computer studied all of his performances and the computer is super sure that this is how Vincent Price would act. Well, what do you think about that?
No.
Because to me, that's the exact same thing as being like, here's a new Nirvana album.
And that technology exists because you think about the whole hologram thing that they were trying to do with people who have passed away.
When you mentioned that earlier, I don't have a problem with that. If I want to go and hear like a live show that DMX did and they just have a hologram up there of him doing whatever he did, like that's fine by me. Like, I'm not going to a show to hear.
I think that technology can be better than it has been.
For sure.
Yes.
And it's so weird. That I don't have a problem with because live music is such an experience for me. And if you have like 20 some years after he passed away, I watched Elvis Presley sell out the Palace of Auburn Hills.
Yeah.
And he was on video in the middle but the whole band was playing live and he was on video singing along with them. And for me, that's as close to seeing Elvis Presley in concert as I'm going to get. But it was actually him and actually his voice. And with those holograms, some of them, they've done them to where it's footage, like they've used footage. And then other ones, like the Michael Jackson one on the Grammys, where they like made the world's weirdest looking hologram. And then he stepped in the middle of the moonwalk. Like, could you take out the Windows 10 slowdown from the moonwalk, please, before you put this up on national television?
And I think the difference with those type of things is it's always like in memoriam of something,
right?
Like, so you're going to see Tupac on stage, and no one's going to be able to do that, but you can envision yourself seeing him, and you're there, and you see the hologram, and yada yada. But so they're not using it for such a negative purpose like with the Michael Jackson thing and Sony.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then too, the thing with the hologram, my issue was that it just looked like crap.
Yeah.
That's a far cry from the Sony pulling that shit.
Right.
Well, then if they were like, oh, and then here's 2 unreleased songs, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Then that's where that crosses the line.
Yeah, I agree.
So on to the last part of what I wanted to talk about was, what do you think the future holds for this technology? Because I think it's all
nothing
terrible.
good.
I think it's all terrible.
I mean, I shouldn't say nothing.
Let me say
it's one thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think we've seen the mountaintop of good that can come from this. Like,
has anybody
this company,
ever seen any of the Terminators?
Well, I've seen
Skynet,
all of them.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, well,
I don't think things are going to go well.
Yeah, when the T-1000 turns into everything and then slices their face.
Michelle's looking very confused because she's seen none of the Terminators.
Right.
So.
I've seen bits and pieces, and I went on the ride.
Watch 1, 2, and 4.
You went on a ride for something you don't even know why you're riding it.
Here's my impression of Michelle on that ride at Universal. Why is he chasing her?
What's going on?
Why are they all robots?
I thought Arnold was the bad guy.
Why did he change?
Why did he say that? Is he going to blow her up?
Where is he going? Is he going to be back?
Why is she doing that? Why would they do that? I thought Arnold was bad.
I've been on that ride with my brother. You could ask him.
I'm certain he would be like, were you there?
Did you come with us on that trip?
Yeah. But what's, to me, this thing with the over the bridge is the absolute only good thing that can come out of this.
Yeah.
And I think I'm telling you guys, as soon as a year from now, there's going to be more controversy about, like, is this real? Or, did you really find and I find it amazing that this is all of a sudden coming about after the huge Universal fire where they lost all the master tapes for everything.
I forgot about that.
And that's another thing. I'm sure somebody's going to get the bright idea of, well, we can just recreate the master tapes for Tapestry and use a computer. No, you cannot. There is a difference between Carole King sitting in a smoke-filled, bourbon-spilled studio creating and writing Tapestry and your computer thinking what it sounded like when that happened. I think the future is terrible for this.
I totally agree with what they're doing, trying to shed light on mental health and whatnot. Absolutely. And that should be happening. And they're using this weird, creepy technology for something that is cool.
I know I keep saying this, but there's no way for me to stress this without continuing to say it. That's the only way I could ever see this technology being used well.
Unless someone else has another idea, they should tell us.
Of what, though?
That's what I'm saying. If you're listening to the show and you're like, hey, I have another idea on this could be great.
Yeah.
God.
So aggressive.
I know.
I'm not aggressive. You're aggressive.
Anyways, going on, Kyle.
Part of me also wonders is if it's all orchestrated for them to be like, well, look, we're using this technology for this. Look at this. I mean,
that crossed my mind too.
We're using it for good. Come on now.
I know.
And then they're actually like, oh, but actually behind the scenes,
I have to say this
is happening.
I know we try real hard to keep the show positive and fun, but I'm also glad I'm not the only cynic in the world.
Yes.
Because that literally crossed my mind. I was like, I wonder if this is an olive branch.
Yeah.
Or a big wooden badger from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which was based on the Trojan horse, of course.
Yes.
I think that in the article, didn't they say they've been working on it for over a year already?
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's a quick process to do this kind of thing.
Right. And what you were saying when you mentioned the tribute artist is doing the thing to sound like, I'm certain there's going to be a cross-section of Nirvana fans that are going to be all mad at that guy or whatever. But I think for the cause that it's done for, and then this is totally out of left field, but there's a guy out of Michigan, actually. He's world renowned, but he's out of Michigan, and his name's Doug Church. And this dude sounds literally exactly like Elvis. Like they've played his version of stuff in one ear for Priscilla and Elvis in the other ear, and she couldn't tell which one was him and which one was Elvis. And he does this series of CDs. These are old. They're like 15 years old. But they're called King-Tinued. And he sings songs that Elvis never got to sing, like Friends in Low Places, Tears in Heaven. Like if I played his version of Tears in Heaven, you would be like, that's Elvis singing Tears in Heaven.
That's crazy.
And, but that's always been we all know this is Doug Church. This is just a fantasy situation. I feel like eventually.
It's also a human.
Right. Well, right. But I feel like eventually Sony's going to be like, oh, what if Elvis sang Tears in Heaven? Well, let's, make sure to tack it on to 15 songs that you have to have.
Yeah.
And then we'll get you to pay for this one. And or they'll even put it out for the headlines.
Yeah.
Too. You know, like,
what
Sony calls this controversy.
What I was meaning was that usually when technology is being used for sketchy purposes, they put something out at the forefront that's making it seem like it's being used for good purposes. And then
you don't have to explain it to me like I'm an idiot.
Can I just interject something real quick? Most things have to be explained to me. I'm just speaking from experience on the show. Most things have to be explained.
Just from the show, though?
Well, I don't want to bring the real life into it. I don't want everybody to hear about the past. Well, you and I should just do a podcast about the past 18 years.
I felt the need to explain that because you seemed mind blown when we were watching the stuff about Iran-Contra and that kind of stuff. Blew your mind. You don't even know what I'm talking about now.
No.
That's how
Wait, what are you talking about?
Okay, just real quick. When did you watch that?
2 days ago.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I was going to be like, because if it was before last time we recorded, she doesn't even remember what we talked about
No,
last
it was just
week.
a couple days ago.
What are you talking about?
Iran-Contra, where the government was funneling weapons into Iran and letting cocaine come into the whole thing. We watched the whole documentary about it.
Kyle is talking about how many times...
We didn't watch a whole documentary about it. I was sleeping, and he watched a documentary next to me in bed.
Okay. Many times... people will do the Trojan horse thing and like try and get...
I know!
Yes.
Stop explaining it to me!
You're the one who keeps saying you don't get it.
I never said that!
You just look confused. That's why I was elaborating.
I'm not kidding when I say this. Not even 5 minutes ago, I looked at the timer on the thing and I was like, this episode's going really well. Wrong.
God.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
You're wrong.
You laid me low with that one. So, what does everybody think that's listening to this? Am I just a bitter old guy? And like, who cares what the artist thinks or whatever? Like, would you buy full albums like this? And when we say like this, we are talking outside of what Over the Bridge is doing. I want to be clear that I think what they are doing is quite literally the only way that I would ever support something like this. With the idea, by the way, and I want to be clear, we touched on this earlier, and we don't need to get too deep into it because we are going to talk about the 27 Club eventually. The idea is not like, oh, Jim Morrison was so cool, man. The idea is what we could have had if he didn't suffer with addiction and mental illness.
Yes.
And so I am all for it. Like, I adore Amy Winehouse. I was heartbroken when she passed, and because I was always rooting for her, and I was hoping she would turn it around. And for something like this, I think because I'm certain there's a whole generation that just thinks of her as like a super badass who did what she wanted. And she was a badass who did what she wanted to, but what we could have had if someone had stepped in and helped.
Yeah, they're making it a very big point of saying that they're not romanticizing it. It's very much trying to shed light on how fucked up the situation is.
Instead of just going, hey, weren't these people cool?
Yes.
I think that's wonderful, but for the rest of it, man, I'm just worried.
There's so much gray area that there's not even, it's hard to even wrap your head around.
I guarantee you, starting on Monday, record contracts are going to have that stuff written into it.
Yeah.
And we can do whatever we want with your, likeness and voice and everything after you're gone, which I think is terrible. And then who knows, man, if this stuff would have happened back in the 90s, who knows if Warner Brothers could have just been like, oh, well, here's the Prince album we want to put out.
Yeah.
While he's still sitting here, and they're like, oh, you changed your name to get out of your contract? Well, we're still signed to Prince, and here's Computer Prince instead,
Yeah, it's crazy to think about what could have been and what could still be.
With things like that, with Prince, we know Prince has 40-some years of stuff in the vault that was recorded, Who knows if somebody's going to come along and be like, oh, well, the computer thinks this song could have been improved this way. No, I want to hear the way Prince left it for us.
Yeah.
That is all of our thoughts on it. Oh, I'm sorry. All of our thoughts. Michelle, are you good? You had all your thoughts? You got all your thoughts out? Was everything properly explained to you on this show? You 5 out of 5 would come again for explanations?
Fuck off.
Oh.
I think she got it. That exploded quickly.
Yeah, that was not good. So anyways, please, if you are hearing this show and you have opinions on this, and if you're hearing this show, you have opinions on this. I know that you do. So what I want everyone listening to this episode to do is when you're done listening to this on your phone, turn around and use the phone to dial 313-364-9899. Explain some things to Michelle. That would be fun. And then after that, share with us your thoughts on artificial intelligence in music. Would you buy records by your favorite artists who are not your favorite artists any longer? Or, can you think of, like Michelle said, very much to your point, can you think of another positive way this could be used? Because I'm pretty sure we've heard the only way this can be used. But until I heard that, I thought there was no way. You never know. So, like we always say about this time, without music, life would be a mistake. Bye.
The Infectious Groove podcast is hosted by Russ Robinson, Kyle Wimple, and Michelle Koselecki. Produced and edited by Russ Robinson. Intro and outro music composed by Chris Kimmel. Opening credits read by Stacey Robinson. Recorded with the Rode Podcaster Pro and Rode Pod mics.